Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to rumble! Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another My Hero Academia chapter reaction and review. In chapter 343, we pretty much ended with... basically, let's just call it what it is. The heroes lured out All for One in an attempt to, get at him directly using Aoyama. And All for One calls in all of his subordinates, including his high executives such as Himiko Toga, and Dabi, and Tomura. And now we have Midoriya, with the help of Monoma and his copy quirk, using Kurogiri's quirk to call in all the big heavy hitters and the number one heroes, including Mirko, Gang Orca, Endeavor, Edgeshot, and everyone else. The heroes versus the villains. We are finally here to see this knockdown, drag-out fight. Nico W., good to see you, and Psycho as well. Let's go ahead and get started with Chapter 344. Let's go! I only got a chapter of My Hero today and an episode of One Piece to react to. So if I get all of that out quickly enough, might end up playing some more Dying Light, just so I can get through that, so I can focus on Forbidden West completely until Elden Ring releases this week. I can't believe that's a sentence I can say now. Elden Ring drops this week. We've waited so long, and Elden Ring is coming this week. I'm excited. But let's go ahead and get started with Chapter 44. And Chapter 344. Not 44, but 344. Chapter 344, Stars. And we have Tsukauchi here with All Might. With All Might, I guess we're going back in time. We're going back in time. Yes, we are going. I knew we were going back. I knew we were going back to figure out how we all got to this point. I knew it. I called this in the last chapter. But All Might is speaking and has him saying, "We know All for One too well." And we have some narration here. Back in the UA dorm in Chapter 342, when Class A had just come home and All Might and Tsukauchi were about to explain the final plan, the odds of the search effort locating him were always slim. And then it has Kaminari here saying, "Bakugo was saying that all along, but hearing it from these guys hits different." No, Kaminari saying, "Bakugo was saying that all along," and then Sato says, "But hearing it from these guys hits different." And then Mineta says, "So this was all pointless?" And then Tsukauchi says, "Not at all. It's linked to Eraser's plan." And then All for One continues saying, "In order to lure the sneakiest, craftiest cowards out from the shadows, one has to force them to loosen up and relay." And then it has Bakugo saying, "Like even our desperate search couldn't locate those pieces of crap. Screw this and whatnot, as if that's our situation." And then Seto says, "That's one interpretation." And then Tsukauchi continues because Principal Nezu is on his shoulder. "Our plan assumes that they're employing the search quirk and can therefore track every move our people make. Everything we've done since Midoriya's return makes them think we're exhausted and panicking. It will embolden them to see us making one wrong move after another, playing right into their hands." And then it has Aizawa going back saying, "As Class A's homeroom teacher, I have an idea." And then Tsukauchi continues saying, "Then Eraser came up with that plan, to raise our odds of luring All for One to a location of our choosing by using his infiltrator Aoyama." And then Midoriya, with slight tears in his eyes, says, "Oh, so Aoyama's coming back to us?" And then All Might shakes his head in confirmation. And then Uraraka says, "That's great." And then Yaoyorozu chimes in and says, "If I may, Mr. Aoyama said that he and his family would be killed if they lied to the enemy. Until we're positive that the enemy does not in fact have a way to detect lies, won't this be placing the family in danger?" "We have a solution for that. According to his parents, they only ever corresponded with All for One by voice, and never by text. And he wouldn't make a move before verifying with all of his many allies wherever they lurk. This suggests that he has some way to instantly verify the veracity of verbal communication. Assuming he doesn't spot a lie in what he's told, he'll feel safe enough to make an appearance. That's why, just like I had to double check here because I thought I scrolled past the page too much, but I didn't. I'm good. He'll feel safe enough to make an appearance. That's why, just like Aizawa suggested, we'll make use of a certain someone. Come on! And then Shinzo comes in. Yo, they're gonna use Shinzo's quirk to fool All For One? Yo, it's Shinzo! Let's go! And then everyone's saying, Shinzo! Sweet costume, dude, says Kirishima. And then Asui comes in saying, one thing shocked me when Aizawa Sensei explained the plan. Because back during the team battles, you said you can't make other people speak, Shinzo. And then Shinzo comes in saying, yeah, well, about that. In April, I was supposed to join the hero course, where I have to hold my own with all of you. So I've been training like heck to improve my quirk, and now they tell us no one's moving up a grade in the meantime. Wow, he's been training like heck to improve my quirk, and now they tell us no one's moving up a grade in the meantime. But yeah, I can do it. I'll be able to make Aoyama and his folks talk so that my motives and their emotions won't come into play at all. Yo, because if they respond to Shinzo, they follow his commands. So if that is so genius! Because if you're under mind control, there's really no emotion towards it. He can really just tell you to genuinely speak to All For One as if nothing is wrong, and they will genuinely speak like nothing is wrong because they're being mind controlled. Therefore, All For One will not be able to detect any lies because they're going to speak truthfully, and he will never be able to detect it. That is so smart. Yo, that is so smart! Because I was wondering, how is it that All For One wasn't able to detect any lies? And yet he was still lured out. Because Shinzo's the MVP. He managed to fool All For One of all people. Your boy is bad. I'll be able to make Aoyama and his folks talk, so my motives and their emotions won't come into play at all. Amazing! But the method to make it work is even more tense. Still amazing! Thanks so much, Shinzo! So, Class A or Class B? What's your hero name? You gotta pick Class A. It's gotta be us, right? So emotional. So excitable, says Shinzo. Sorry, the words were small. And then we have Principal Nezu coming in saying, Aizawa was sure to train him well. Our Aizawa-sensei is just as awesome as ever! In case you're curious, even though Shinzo hasn't earned his provisional hero license yet, the acting HPSC president, Mera, has given him special permission to act during this crisis. And then we have Tokoyami coming in saying, however, our troubles hardly end there. Our enemies are lured into the trap. Can we truly defeat them all? Our numbers are already lacking, and if we do somehow assemble every available hero at the chosen spot for this ambush, surely that would give us away. And then All Might says, the thing is, the heroes don't need to be there in advance. And then it shows a whole bunch of heroes in the holding area where they're keeping Kurogiri. I see Aizawa. I see, what is his name? Bulldog? I forget his name. And then in the back, I see Aoyama. Then we have Aizawa chiming in saying, this is a special request, straight from All Might and his people. And then the other teacher there, I still think his name is Bulldog or something. I forget his name. Please forgive me. And then he says, the head teacher of Class B, 1B. And he says, you're going to play a key role in all of this. You up for it, Phantom Thief? And then Monoma chimes in. You want me to copy this guy's quirk and master it in just a few days? Where's the punchline? Because I'm not laughing. And Aizawa says, I'm sorry, I really am. I couldn't get through to him myself, And we don't even know if he's more Kurogiri or Shirakumo at this point. Since losing my eye, my erasure is all but useless, meaning I'll be sidelined in the coming battle. They say, and then Monoma says, they say Jaku would have been a total massacre without you there, Eraserhead. And then his teacher looks at him, and then Monoma says, since I was little, people have said you'll never be a superhero with that quirk. It's one meant for a supporting role, but for a bit player. Monoma. And then his teacher, kind of embraces him a little bit. This operation will fail unless everyone plays their part. There is no such thing as a bit player. You have been and always will be. Oh no, this is his teacher saying that. This operation will fail unless everyone plays their part. There's no such thing as a bit player. You have been and always will be. And then it goes through all the things that have transpired here. His family being under control by Shinzo's quirk. It shows Aizawa, making sure everything is good and getting the thumbs up from Shinzo. It shows Monoma at the present day as he's partially obscured in the darkness created by Kurogiri, with his teacher saying, there's no such thing as a bit player. You have been and always will be a star. And as he says that, it shows all the heroes bursting through the dark Kurogiri's quirk created by Monoma, and it has Monoma just erupting from the darkness with him laughing maniacally. The man behind the curtain! And now we have the heroes launching themselves at All For One's forces as All For One is floating in the background. And then it has All Might with Suguuchi watching this whole situation going down. And All Might is saying, just as expected, he's brought his whole army along. If he steals One For All, he'll have no need to run and hide ever again. They'll attempt to bring it all to an end right now. I gotta read that. I gotta read that whole thing over again. My apologies. That was offensive to all of you. Just as expected, he brought his army along. All squads, take action! If he steals One For All, he'll have no need to run and hide ever again. They'll attempt to bring it all to an end right now! And then it shows, Suguuchi Shigaraki touching the goop that he just came out of. And he's touching it, and he's behaving really, really weird. Like, his eyes are even more beady than they used to be before. And then he says, Dabi. And then Toya comes in saying, you ain't the boss of me, leader. Fancy running into you here, dear old dad. Come to watch your pals get cremated? And he tries to burn everyone point blank, but his fire is blocked by ice. And from the ice, from this gate of Kurogiri, who is yet to reveal themselves, we have Toya just laughing to himself. And it's Todoroki! It's Shoto! Shoto's coming through with him saying, not on my watch, brother, you big jerk. And it shows all of Class 1A erupting through the gate. And then Toya does the exact same thing that I just said. Shoto! And then we get All For One. Like cockroaches, are they hoping for a chaotic outbrawl? Are they hoping for a chaotic all-out brawl? And then it has All Might screaming so much that blood is coming out of his mouth. Operation Troy, Tempt and Trap! Tempt and Trap, activate! And then, as this is going, suddenly, the area that they're standing in erupts around them, and they all get caged in. All For One gets caged in. Shigaraki gets caged in. They all get encased underneath their very feet. So apparently, the places that they were, the whole ground was a trap, just waiting for them. And then Tomura says, Cages? They can't be serious. And then All For One is thinking, they must be aware we can tear these traps to shreds in the blink of an eye, and yet they've gone to such lengths. Ah, I see your angle, All Might. And then Suguchi is saying, here we go, All Might, this time for sure. Yes, you and I and everyone else put this operation together. It has to work. We once failed to put him down properly, and he may have ripped your guts out, but we're both still here, still alive. No mistakes this time, All Might. That's right. To draw you away from UA and away from the new fort, we had to lay this groundwork. We played to your ego to lure you out from hiding, and now. And then apparently, these cages are getting pulled. And Monoma is saying, I'm pulling these strings. Everyone, now, shove them in. Yo. It was a trap to encase them all so that Monoma could pull them through Kurogiri's gates to separate them. That's how they're going to separate them. Shove them in. And then All For One is thinking, all of this to split us up. And it shows All For One's face, and it shows All Might's face. That's the plan. And then that's where the chapter ends, to be continued. Ladies and gentlemen, Nico W., his name was Vlad. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. I forgot his name. I knew it was something that started with a V. I was thinking, what is his name? But it's Vlad. But yes. All right, the operation has started, ladies and gentlemen. And now it has begun with the heroes encasing all of the villains in these cages, with Monoma keeping these gates open and having everyone doing their best to shove all of these cages to different locations in order to separate All For One from his subordinates. Divide and conquer. They talked about this in previous chapters, but now we know. I told you, every single moment the villains have a moment to shine, and we focus on the villains a whole lot, and it seems like the villains have a one-up on the heroes. The heroes come back with a plan just as well, just as good. If anything, I have to say that for as much as I talk about how All For One is a master manipulator and a master planner, All Might is just as good a planner and strategist as All For One is. Because they all came up with this plan. All Might put this plan together, and he was thinking, okay, we need to do this. I know All For One is better than anyone else. So he comes up with a plan to divide and conquer, knowing All For One's ego. They play off of that and manipulate the master manipulator in order to get to where they want him to go. Because the thing is, All For One has planned all of this since years in advance. Back when Aoyama was a child and he never had a quirk, he was planning on how to get his hands on One For All. And he put pieces in place, people in place, in order to see that through. And for all of the plans that we've seen him enact, we were thinking, maybe it's a quirk he has that allows him to see into the future or something, or maybe there's some sort of clairvoyance quirk that allows him to anticipate things. But for all the planning that we've seen All For One do, it's right here where we see All For One is like, wow, I didn't anticipate this. And he's actually confused about, they know we can tear out of these cages, so why are they going through such lengths? Yes, they know you could tear straight through those cages, but they're also counting on everyone else who's there presently to shove all of those cages that every single one of those heroes are into the gates that Monoma is creating in order to separate every single one of them. Now, had All For One had the foresight to see this sort of thing happen, because he didn't think about it. He didn't think about it. He lacked the foresight to think of Shinzo. He lacked the foresight to think of Monoma. He lacked the foresight to think that, what if they try and copy or do something with Kurogiri's quirk in order to make it work to their advantage? He could have formulated a plan around that, but he didn't anticipate that. For all of his plans, All for One can be negligent in some areas that he's not really privy to. Because if he was, he would have been privy to Shinzo's quirk, allowing him to manipulate people by his voice, and he never would have believed that Aoyama's family would have given him wrong information or have lied to him. He wouldn't, if he knew about, if he had taken Monoma into consideration, he would have thought about how Monoma can copy people's quirks and thought, well, if they use Monoma to get Kurogiri's gates here, then that'll be a way that the heroes could surprise themselves, and then we'd show up and hopefully, and they'll think they can do this as a whole knockdown, drag-out brawl. But that's not the case, because just as much as All for One is a master strategist, the heroes got some master strategists on their side as well, including All for One. I mean, All Might. I get All Might and All for One mixed up. Please forgive me. So now, even though they could easily rip through those cages, with the time it's going to take for them to even think about doing that, they're going to shove them into the gates that Monoma is creating, separate the executives, and then the whole divide and conquer plan can continue. Because we got Toya in here who just makes a beeline for Endeavor. This dude's got a massive beef with Endeavor right now, to the point where he's all like, "You ain't the boss of me," to Shigaraki. And then he immediately goes and tries to kill Endeavor without even having any indicator of, okay, now it's time to fight. He just sees Endeavor and makes a beeline for him. I'm gonna kill this man. But before he can do anything, Shoto shows up and blocks Toya's fire. I'm mixing up their quirks. I'm just excited for this chapter. This was a really good chapter. And he just blocks Toya's fire with his ice. And seeing as how Toya's fire didn't immediately melt Shoto's ice, I feel like the battle between the one that Toya wanted to be, the one that the battle between brothers is about to start, okay? The fight between Toya Todoroki and Shoto Todoroki is about to get started. His fire, his exceptionally hot fire, which is even more powerful than Endeavor's, versus Shota's fire and ice. We're about to see the extent of Shoto's training. How much control does he have? Will his quirk ascend and be able to use both hot and cold without it having any adverse effects on his body? This is going to be the fight where we see it. Then we have all of Class 1A coming through the gate with Shoto as well. So that means we're going to eventually see a fight between Himiko Toga and Uraraka and possibly Asui as well. Midoriya is going to be fighting whoever, possibly Shigaraki, but I'm just getting ahead of myself before we even see the actual fight lineup happen. Because once they when they officially get separated and then the heroes start to fight their respective people, that's when we can do the lineup. I'm just a theory about what could possibly happen. Monoma is not a side character anymore. No. He's no longer what Vlad would call, he's no longer what he considered himself, a bit player. Even Vlad said, you're no longer a bit player anymore. Monoma's coming in clutch, doing something that would be seen as the last minute buzzer shot to go into overtime. Shinzo and Monoma, people that we would see as side characters and not main characters, up until right now have ascended into main characters now. That's how far that's how much, what is it? That's how much, what is the word? That's how much they contributed. There it is. That's how much they contributed to the effort right now. Monoma allowing the heroes to come in and use Kurogiri's quirk, and Erasure saying that with his eye gone and messed up, his Erasure is not going to be much effort here, so they're not going to have the benefits of, Aizawa being able to erase a certain quirk from someone. But Monoma and Shinzo are massively coming in clutch with their both respective quirks, allowing them to get the jump on All For One here, which is something he didn't anticipate. How am I doing today? It's a nice Sunday today. It really is. It's kind of chilly out there, but it's nice here. It's a real nice Sunday. Plus, any Sunday I get to read these reactions to you guys with my voices and everything is fantastic Sunday for me. But overall, this was a good chapter, and now the plan is being enacted. And let's just see, since we're not going on break from this chapter, which I kind of would have thought we would have, given what is happening right now. What if Mirio is against Shigaraki? Mirio against Shigaraki? I mean, you don't see Mirio there. Not unless he's a surprise character, but given, like, I see Uraraka, I see Asui, Ojiro, Sato, I see all the members, all the classmates of Class 1A there, but I don't see Mirio. If anything, I feel like maybe Mirio, sure, he can use his permeation quirk now because Eri has learned enough control to rewind him back to when he had his quirk, but I feel like Mirio still needs to get used to having his quirk again before he can call himself like, hey, it's time for me to fight with the rest of you. So, I mean, maybe we'll see him, but I'm not going to hold my breath on seeing Mirio. I'm not going to hold my breath on seeing him. Yeah, MHA doesn't go on break much like One Piece. I learned that weekly. He can wait for Shigaraki. Yeah, but, I mean, sure, we could see Mirio come in, and it would be nice to see Mirio, but I feel like Mirio's presence is not necessarily necessary. I just feel like it's not necessary for Mirio to really be there. Not saying that he wouldn't be a valuable asset. He would be. He would be a massively helpful asset due to his perfection of his permeation quirk, and which allows him to be, he's powerful with his permeation quirk. But I do not think that Mirio needs to be there. Because I think Amajiki and Nejire are there, or they're helping out with other things. But Mirio, lately, like, who'd be watching over Eri? Because Present Mike is in one place, and Aizawa's in the hospital. Someone needs to be watching after Eri. And out of the big three, Mirio is the one that Eri trusts the most. So if Mirio's not there fighting, more than likely he's there with Eri. That's just how I feel. I feel like it really just needs to focus on the people who have been in the midst of this conflict massively at this point. Because Mirio only showed up when Gigantomachia was rampaging and Best Jeanist was holding him down. Way back when Shigaraki was getting held down and they were trying to keep Shigaraki from escaping and Gigantomachia was heading there. That's the last time we really saw Mirio have big impact in him showing up. But as of right now, I think it's best if he just stays with Eri right now. Because you don't want to have way too many characters show up. Maybe he'll show up soon. Who knows? Merkel's there after all. Yeah. We'll just have to see where the chapters go. All in all, this was a fantastic chapter, showing that even characters that we consider side characters can have their moments where they become main characters. That's what I love about My Hero Academia. People who are side characters can have just as much screen time and relevance as main characters. When you think about it, there's only seldom few you can call side characters because a lot of side characters get a lot of screen time when you think about it. That's just how I feel about it anyway. One thing I love about My Hero Academia is how it gives everybody equal opportunities to have their own moment to shine. That's why I love this story. But this was a great chapter, and I was happy to read it. I got nothing else to say about this chapter. I'm pretty sure that if I missed anything exceptionally relevant, you guys will let me know. But overall, great chapter, and I'm looking forward to the one next week. Like, wow. Now the plan is getting enacted. So we're just gonna have to see if in the next chapter, if they manage to get every single villain to go through the Kurogiri gates. We'll have to see if they can get them through the portal. Some people sometimes now say side character and underutilized still. I mean, side characters, people forget how much MHA puts to side characters, which people praise beforehand. Yeah. I feel like people really don't understand the theme of how My Hero Academia says, like, you too can be a hero and anyone can be someone's hero. Sugauchi, have a feeling that Endeavor, All Might, and Sugauchi will die. I don't see that. One Piece and MHA are going to be big next week. Oh, they are. Whatever we come to for One Piece after the defeat of Big Mom in the last chapter to what's going to happen next, yeah, it's going to be big, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it, because not only that, it means that before we get the next chapter of My Hero Academia and One Piece, I'll be playing Elden Ring. To say that I'm excited for Elden Ring does not even begin to cover my feelings towards this game, because I've been looking forward to this game for years, and now we're finally getting it this week after it was delayed. And I'm glad they delayed it, because it means that they had enough time to make the game even better than it was before. And from what I hear from like credible people like VaatiVidya, yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. So, Nico. My apologies there, Nico. I forget. Elden Ring hype? Yes, Elden Ring hype. I'm going as a magic class, the astrologer, but I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that when I'm playing Dying Light later today, because I want to play through as much Dying Light as I can, so I can finish the story, so I can focus on Forbidden West, which I will continue tomorrow. But overall, fantastic chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one. All I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say what an honor and a privilege it is to give my unadulterated, genuine reaction and feelings towards My Hero Academia. And the voices that I do, I hope you all enjoy all the voices that I do, because I want to bring you my very best. No problem, you read the manga? Right. I keep forgetting that some people who may not read One Piece may watch My Hero Academia video, so I probably should pay more attention to that in the future. My apologies beforehand. But I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to do what I love to do. I am on the precipice of reaching 3,000 subscribers. Now, I know to some people that may not seem like a whole lot, but it's amazing to see this channel go from where it was before, where I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life, to over 6 years later, well, over 7 years later, and I'm running this channel, and I look forward to what I love to do with my life. And it's like, it's only going to be a matter of time before I'm able to do this full time and devote all my time to this. And this is my full-time job, and it pays well. It's fine. It makes me financially stable, and I am able to do what I love to do for the rest of my life, or at least as I'm physically able to do. That moment is coming. Am I going to play Wonderlands? Absolutely. I'm doing a full playthrough of Wonderlands. That's not even a question. I'm playing a whole bunch. I feel like I'm going to be playing a whole bunch of magical-oriented games, or at least games that have magic in it, or where I could be a magic class. Elden Ring, Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins that has a magic class in there, and Tiny Tita's Wonderlands, which is clearly going to have tons of magic and tons of things I can level up in there as well. So I'm going to have 3 separate games where I'm going to be a full-on magic class, and I'm really looking forward to it, because that's the type of class that I like to play as. So I'm looking forward to it. 3K hype, hope for a celebration stream. Oh, there will be one. There will be one. Even if I have to take the day off from work in order to do that, I am going to celebrate me hitting 3,000 when that happens. I just want to say thank you. Do I play Legends Arceus? I don't have that game. I haven't played a Pokemon game since Omega Ruby. That's the last one I played. But we'll talk more about games when I'm actually playing a game later today. Right now, I need to go ahead and get my One Piece reaction done and over with, grab myself some food, and then later on, I'll put up the stream for Dying Light 2 to continue later this evening. I'll schedule it for you guys. I just want to say thank you for enjoying what I do. It's a massive honor and privilege to do what I love to do and give it to you guys. And for you guys to like what I do, it just means I'm doing something right. So I'm humbled by this channel's success, and I am humbled by your viewership. It really does mean the world to me. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing or even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Only one more obstacle to go. Recommend it if I haven't played in a while. I'll look into it.